This is not Meet the Press or Fox News or whatever for anybody involved. It's what's the question, what's the answer? The floor is hers.
My dear,
Actually, I gave it to her. You know, there is a chairman of a committee. That's me. I gave it back to her.
At a House Appropriations hearing on DHS, tensions boiled over as Congresswoman Lauren Underwood and Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro pressed Secretary Markwayne Mullin over his leadership of the department. Exchanges quickly escalated, forcing Chairman Mark Amodei to step in multiple times to restore order. Watch the two most intense moments from the hearing right here.
Secretary Mullin, will you commit to a member-level meeting with my colleagues and I to discuss why Illinois' disaster declaration was denied and to see how we can support my constituents?
Ma'am, we haven't denied anybody a meeting with us. If you reach out, we'll meet with you. Just as long as, and we'll do it in a timely fashion. Maybe not the next day, but we'll get to it as soon as possible. But I do want to address, if you don't mind, what you talked about here on politicizing it, because I don't.
I actually don't want to talk about politicizing.
Well, but
it. I want to meet with you. To
but I mean,
discuss this in
but
depth.
you made some accusations here about President Trump that's actually not accurate. Because
Mr. Chairman,
if you're going to make accusations, though, you have to let us respond back.
reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman. Does DHS have any specific internal document, policies, or goals to reduce deaths in custody?
And we do a wonderful job on providing medical
question, sir.
We're doing a wonderful job at it. We have
Is it your
0.009% of deaths in our
whether
prison,
the department that you lead
which is a
has
lot better than the state of
policy?
Illinois.
Is it your testimony that you do not know whether or not the department that you lead has a policy to reduce deaths in custody?
No, I did not say that, ma'am.
You didn't answer my question.
Yes, I did. You're making accusations, and you're not even looking at your own state.
No. You have no policy or plan to reduce deaths in custody.
That's not
now,
true.
2 months ago, I asked ICE.
Our medical staff does a phenomenal job. In fact, every detainee sees a doctor or a nurse with every 2 weeks.
I reclaim my time.
Okay, ask your next question.
Okay. 2 months ago, I asked ICE Director Todd Lyons the same question. He said that ICE, quote, hopes that there will be no deaths in custody, but admitted that the agency had no actual policy in place to prevent them. Rather than implement one, he resigned just a few hours later. Secretary, since that hearing, 3 more people have died in ICE's custody, and those are the only deaths that we know about based on your agency's public reporting. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to request unanimous consent to enter into the record a report that came out today from Human Rights Watch and Physicians for Human Rights titled Dying in Detention, Rising Deaths in an Expanding U.S. Immigration Detention System.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Drawing on government records, detention data, and expert medical reviews, this report outlines 52 deaths in ICE custody during President Trump's second term and highlights the concerns we've been raising to your department regarding the lack of access to medical care, suicide prevention, transparency, and accountability in detention facilities. Secretary Mullin, ICE's detainee death reporting has not been updated since April 28th of 2026. The death rate in ICE custody has doubled during President Trump's second term. Will you commit to reporting detainee deaths as required by law?
We do report them, ma'am. No one.
So is it your
I don't know.
testimony then
We
that there
report
is
these.
no...
What you're talking about is what Congress has asked us to do, which we're not required to do, is report the deaths after they're released. That doesn't make any sense. They're not under our watch at that point. If they die in our release, we report them.
Is it your testimony that there have been no deaths since April 28th?
I didn't say that.
Okay, so are you going to commit to complying with the required reporting requirement?
And we were shut down for 115 days under this department. So I don't know what we just now reopened. So I don't know what reports you want us to do when you weren't willing to fund us. You want the reports, but you don't want to fund us? That makes no sense.
Here and has been taking up my time.
my legislation that paid TSA workers, funded FEMA, CISA, Secret Service, and the Coast Guard. And today, and it took you 79 days on the Republican side to make that decision to pay these people instead of just talking about paying this. The administration continues to attempt to walk away from the collective bargaining agreement with TSA workers, something that the federal courts have now twice said is illegal. Indeed, Your testimony frames the attempt to force over 200 smaller airports in this country into a new security structure as a setting. And quote, the TSA, this is in the testimony, the TSA is on the path to privatization. My question on this issue is, given all that the transportation security office did for us during a Republican shutdown, how can it be that the department's position is that TSA workers should not be granted the same basic labor protections as federal enforcement officers? How can it be that your priority is to have them work for the lowest bidder, where the wages and the benefits of these workers will unquestionably be lower?
Well, actually, it was the Democrats that voted every time to shut them down. Republicans voted every time to open them up.
Pass.
So
Just give me
we
the
didn't
answer
shut them
to my
down. You
question.
shut them down.
Answer my question. What are you doing? Why are you moving?
Ma'am, I answered your question. You were the one that shut them down. It was the Democrat shut down. How many times did you vote to shut them down?
Why? You know, these people come to us to get funding for the work that they do, and we ought
I'm
to take
actually
a look at
factually
the work
correct.
that they don't
I'm
do.
factually correct.
The work
You
that they
voted
don't
to
do.
shut them down. Republicans voted to open them over and over and
Well,
over
what
again.
the
Your vote
Republicans
clearly
finally
stated that
did-
you voted to shut us
what they
down.
finally
It
did-
wasn't until it became
Madam
popular.
Ranking
And then, by
Member.
the way, ICE agents came there and helped bring the
Mr.
lines down. The
Secretary.
same people that you also kept shut down for
Mr.
115
Secretary.
days. I'm answering the question.
No, you
I thought
didn't,
you said
Mr.
you answered it.
Secretary.
The floor is hers.
My dear,
Actually, I gave it to her. You know, there is a chairman of a committee. That's me.
Oh.
I gave it back to her.
this tells
She's
you
got it.
something about who these folks are. And
have
everybody
another
on this
question,
panel.
Madam Ranking
Well,
Member?
yeah, no, I do, but I didn't get an answer to a question.
So the
How
record
can
will
it
so
be-
reflect.
Thank you.
Please ask your next
Okay,
question.
and I will. This has to do with FEMA. Simple question. And I want to start where I left off with Secretary Noem last year. FEMA. Simple yes or no. Do you support eliminating FEMA? Do you support eliminating FEMA?
There's portions of FEMA that
Do you
needs to be back in the
support
state.
eliminating
There's no yes or
FEMA?
no question on that. There's
Do you
portions that need to go back
support
to the state.
eliminating FEMA?
The record will reflect the
That he-
response.
is
The record
supports-
will reflect the
that
response.
he was-
Is there another
supports
question?
it. Yeah, because let me just say, in April of 2025, the Trump administration prematurely, I'm glad we got that answer, because the poor gentleman who came before, it may have been with you, Mr. Chairman, that came before our committee, and I asked him this question, and he said, because Secretary Noem said, yes, she and the president wanted to eliminate FEMA. The gentleman said that he said it should be reformed, and the next day he was fired. Let it show that the secretary believes that we should shut FEMA down.
I never
April
said that.
2025, the
Mr.
administration.
Chairman, I never said that.
The administration prematurely,
The record will
unlawfully
reflect what you did and didn't
ended
say accurately.
FEMA's BRIC program. He intentionally halted roughly 2,000 active infrastructure and disaster mitigation projects across the country, including one in downtown New Haven, Connecticut. A coalition of 22 states and D.C. sued FEMA. A federal judge ruled in favor of the states in December, mandated that FEMA restore the over $3.6 billion and canceled funding. At the beginning of March, the judge had to order FEMA to comply with that ruling. 3 months ago, the day after you took over as secretary, FEMA formally announced a, quote, new and improved BRIC program. Yet, almost all of these communities are still waiting for their BRIC funding to be restored. Tell me, Mr. Secretary, when can communities with halted projects expect to receive their BRIC funding?
We actually restarted that when I first came in, and we did 24 or 25 of them. So
You've done 24 of the 25
Yes,
of the
ma'am.
2,000.
I mean, let me clarify that. So
Please.
2024 and 2025, they sent out the notice of notifications, so everybody can now submit, and those projects that were already submitted for those times period will be
How many projects
reevaluated.
are there?
We can get you the details. on
Please,
that.
there were 2,000 that we started with were,
The Secretary also provided direction for 2026 to get the NOFOs out on that, and that'll come out sometime in September. The Secretary has done more to get that.
I do not need your, you do not need to.
I just wanna make sure you're
Well,
clear.
please.
Okay.
Spare us, just give me the facts. Just give
did.
me the numbers. Let me just conclude. Mr. Chairman, and thank you. I would like to work in an open and in a transparent way, because that BRIC funding for New Haven, Connecticut, which I probably will not get because I'm in a blue state, that the BRIC funding for New Haven, Connecticut is important, which is why we support the programs, bipartisan support for the BRIC program. So please, let's get the NOFOs out as quickly as possible and get the money to the communities that need them. My final comment to you is, I'd just like to go back a second. We need to go back to the issue of deaths in custody. It doesn't do anyone good to deflect, talk about what's happening in the criminal system in Illinois or in Oklahoma. What we need, because 54 deaths are 54, in what is civil detention, we need a plan to address the fact that 54 people in your department they were in civil detention, it's not criminal detention, are dead. They should not be. We need to hear from you. I don't need an answer now. There is no time. I've taken an enormous amount of time. Get us a policy, a plan, in a timely fashion that says, how are we going to deal with these issues?
For more content like this, stay tuned to Congress Clips, and thanks for watching.